Ye-seung, a practicing attorney, is shown in the first scene attempting to defend her father against a crime he did not commit. It transpires that her father was wrongly charged with a child's murder and sexual assault. Ye-seung asserts during the legal proceedings that the prosecution is fabricating allegations because she was present for the entire occurrence. Later, following a successful trial, Ye-seung sees a balloon trapped in barbed wire as she exits the jail court. The action then jumps ahead to 1997, where Ye-seung, then 6 years old, and her father, Yong-gu, are seen peering through a store window. They are ogling a bags featuring Sailor Moon. As soon as Yong-gu receives his paycheck from work, he vows to purchase a bag for his daughter. They see a police commissioner buying that purse for his daughter at that very moment. When Yong-gu runs in to get the backpack, the officer attacks him, and he is forced to leave the business. Following the incident, the two, somewhat bruised but in good spirits, head home without the bag. Ye-seung, a good-natured and intelligent youngster, recognizes the circumstances and is not upset about not receiving the bag. She looks after her father, who has a developmental handicap. Despite her early age, Yong-gu gets paid at work the next day. As he counts the cash, the daughter of the previous police commissioner approaches him and offers to show him where the identical rucksack is being sold. However, the young child dies in a tragic event when she slips on the ice pavement of the market and a brick falls on her head. Yong-gu starts doing CPR on the young girl in a last-ditch attempt to bring her back to life, but a female bystander misinterprets him and accuses him of killing the girl after attacking her. After that, Yong-gu is caught and brought to the police station. Owing to his mental instability, he is unable to comprehend that he has been detained. In an attempt to get away, he claims that his daughter is at home alone. But all this does is have him battered by the cops, who then detain him till the following day. The police fabricate comments about his behavior in the morning, claiming that he attacked his daughter in order to exact revenge on the commissioner. To make matters worse, he is made to do a fictitious reenactment in order to see his daughter. Ye-seung decides to go look for her father in the interim after growing concerned for him. Soon after, she sees people gathered around the scene of the incident and finds her father handcuffed. The young child runs to him out of fear, but the officers immediately hold her back. Following this incident, Yong-gu is imprisoned and beaten by the warden for having committed such a crime. After that, he and 5 other prisoners are held in cell number 7. He was also beaten up for a crime he was not guilty of. Innocent Yong-gu continues to think about his daughter in spite of everything. The prisoner's job during working hours is to create soccer balls. These balls are used as an alibi by Yang Ho, one of Yong-gu's cellmates who is regarded as the leader, to smuggle goods. Through the distribution of these illicit goods, the leader and his group claim territory inside the prison, but this has also made them a number of enemies. When the rival gang boss tries to stab Yang Ho one day from behind, Yong-gu sees it coming and steps in just in time to save him. The leader is extremely impressed by his deeds. Later on, in gratitude for the courtesy, Yang Ho offers to assist him in any way that he can. Yong-gu replies that he would like to see his daughter Ye-seung. Consequently, the young girl is brought into the prison along with a choir group that is performing. When the time is right, the daughter is kidnapped and brought into cell number 7 to meet her father. Yong-gu gives her a passionate embrace as soon as he sees her. He tells her he is being held and apologizes for leaving her. Nevertheless, the church function is cancelled, so their reunion is short-lived. The other prisoners then rush to try to sneak her out, but it's too late. The church bus has already left. They are forced to keep the girl in the cell with them as a result. One of the inmates decides to notify the guards because he is terrified of what will happen if they are discovered. He is unable to do so. Nevertheless, as he sees Ye-seung's distraught expression, the other cellmates come to the realization that Yong-gu is too much of a father to be an assailant after moving in with them. After a few days, the jail chamber no longer resembles a prison cell and more closely resembles Ye-seung's playground. Her brightness causes the prisoners to ultimately warm up to her and get along with her. When looking through the choir event photos one evening, the jail warden notices that one of the performing girls is missing. When he discovers the girl has been brought inside illegally, he promptly orders a prison-wide examination. Soon later, Yong-gu is imprisoned in a solitary cell and Ye-seung is discovered. He is then promptly sent to the orphanage. The same evening, a prisoner protesting against letting a young girl into the facility causes a fire to start after an attempt at arson. All of the inmates are sent to the courtyard amid the confusion, and the warden enters the cell to seize the demonstrator. But as the fire spreads, the protester and the warden become trapped inside. When Yong-gu sees this, he fearlessly leaps into the flames to save them, not thinking about the possible repercussions. The action then shifts to the hospital, where the warden awakens to find that Yong-gu has saved his life. He realizes as a result that the man's criminal record is fake and that he is incapable of carrying out such a horrific deed. Conversely, Ye-seung returns to her studies. When her instructor questions her about her absence from class, Ye-seung says that she just wants to see her father. She then drives her teacher to the penitentiary, leaving her speechless. The father and daughter are ecstatic to see one another when they arrive. The teacher joins in on their talk. Not bothering them, seeing the affection between the two of them. Their joy is short-lived, though, as their visitation period ends and they are parted. For the first time, the warden realizes how much Yong-gu loves his daughter, and this strengthens his suspicions. This also brings up memories of his only son, who was murdered by a prisoner. Ye-seung is so distraught after the breakup that she goes without food and eventually checks herself into the hospital. To ensure she is doing well, the prison warden pays her a visit. The young child asks him to take her into custody and put her in her father's cell during this. The warden, moved by this, gives her permission to see her father every day after school. Furthermore, while examining Yong-gu's criminal records, he finds that his oath was fabricated. The warden swears to establish his innocence after witnessing the injustice that Yong-gu is subjected to. Unaware that the commissioner had set him up, he then goes to the commissioner and asks for a reinvestigation of Yong-gu's case. In the meantime, Ye-seung's companions, the prisoners in cell number 7, are having fun. The leader's secret weakness, something no one knew about, is that the small girl teaches him to read and write. Ye-seung takes a cell phone from a classmate one day and uses it inside the jail. An inmate receives it from her, enabling him to phone his wife and their newborn daughter. They all develop a unique bond with Ye-seung over the days and begin to live as a family. In addition to all of this, they find out that Yong-gu's last trial date is drawing near. In response, the prisoners promise to help him succeed in the trial so he can go back to living a contented life with his daughter. They want Yong-gu to thoroughly describe the incident in order to prepare for this. To obtain a sense of the incident, they also run through a number of scenarios. They eventually come to the conclusion that the commissioner's girl did, in fact, slip on a frozen puddle after a few days. The girl was killed when a block fell on top of her head while she was falling and she grabbed a plastic wrap. The prisoners also find out that Yong-gu ended up here after being coerced into signing a fabricated report through extortion. After discovering the truth, Yong-gu receives training on how to respond to inquiries from the prosecution. They know he will prevail because he has been mistreated, even though his mental illness makes it difficult. Every potential query and its response is noted by the prisoners, which Yong-gu reviews day and night. In addition, as a show of solidarity, the cellmates organize a petition from other inmates to attend Yong-gu's trial. Yong-gu is met by a public attorney during the preparations. The attorney claims that if he prevails in the trial, the commissioner will harm Ye-seung. Thus he must enter a guilty plea to rescue his daughter. Also, the attorney gives up on the inmate's plea, claiming it will be ineffective. The much-awaited trial day finally arrives in the following scene. As Yong-gu is hauled before the judge to receive his ultimate decision, the commissioner beats him severely in the waiting area and threatens to kill his daughter if he doesn't confess. After some time, the trial starts, and out of concern for his daughter, Yong-gu makes the ultimate sacrifice by admitting guilt to the charges. Despite the jail warden's best efforts to persuade the judge that Yong-gu is mentally terrified, he is executed. Ye-seung's birthday falls on December 23rd, the day of the scheduled execution. When they return to the prison, the inmates choose to act independently because they feel bad about Yong-gu. To aid in his escape, they come up with a scheme to construct a hot air balloon. Their desire to rescue an innocent guy from the grip of injustice drives them to devote their days and nights to this effort. To start the plan, they also ask Ye-seung's teacher and all the other prisoners for assistance. A few days later, Ye-seung and a few other kids participate in a choir performance that is organized by the prison. After the show, Ye-seung holds her father's hand and invites him to the yard, whereupon additional inmates arrive to give the impression that the event is still going on. The prisoners seize the opportunity to send Ye-seung and Yong-gu flying on the balloon and let go of the rope. The convicts prevent the guards from pursuing the balloon as they take off. Despite their knowledge of their escape attempt, nevertheless, barbed wire catches the balloon's cord, foiling their scheme. Now that they have nowhere else to go, the father and daughter take advantage of this time to enjoy the sun setting together. Before Ye-seung is sent to be executed, Yong-gu and the other prisoners celebrate his birthday on December 23rd. They give the young child several gifts and a birthday cake as a surprise. After much deliberation, Yong-gu gives her the moon sailor backpack they had been eyeing for a while. The small girl, ecstatic with her gift, thanks him for becoming her father. Yong-gu's destiny causes the other prisoners, who are watching the two embrace, to cry uncontrollably. They remain silent in front of the young girl in spite of this. All they do is act as though her father is being moved to a different institution and encourage her to persevere. The jail officers show up shortly after to take Yong-gu to be executed. He expresses gratitude to his cellmates for their support and care before departing. Though obviously distressed, the prisoners are powerless. The other inmates weep along with Yong-gu as he strolls past the hall with his daughter. Yong-gu makes a concerted effort to contain his tears as the time of separation approaches. Before going to his execution, he gives Ye-seung his final hug. He hears his daughter's voice as he is leaving and turns to give her a quick hug. He begs for assistance so that he won't have to be apart from his daughter. It's too late now, though, and even the warden appears helpless. In the end, poor Yong-gu is put to death for a crime he did not commit. After 16 years, Ye-seung, a lawyer now, files an appeal on behalf of her father, who is still deemed to be a criminal. She is ultimately able to demonstrate his innocence with the help of the jail warden and the convicts in room 7. The court, much to the delight of the former prisoners, the warden, and a grieving Ye-seung, clears Yong-gu by reversing the prior decision and ordering a reinvestigation into the girl's death. The scene then cuts back to the opening of the movie, when Ye-seung sees herself and her younger self waving goodbye from a hot air balloon with Yong-gu. She bids her father farewell with tears as the balloon takes off, signaling the end of the film. The end. If you like this story, please subscribe to the channel and like it to motivate me to bring you more stories like this.